Sumai, welcome to a new tale, one of endless frustration and one of passion. A final return to Thoblecad before we move on to newer pastures. Thoblecad knew no end of wealth. Between our lead and our silver, we could have most anything an industrious dwarf could dream of. We even had limited stores of iron, with which we could construct fine implements of destruction. Hundreds of suits of armour, hammers, swords, picks. We truly had our lot. However, when the caravans would come, they would show us their goods, and within would be a silvery grey metal, forged into a helmet. Steel, they called it. We inquired on the technique of making it, and what they told us is that we needed to corrupt our iron, to add in more carbon and silt, or sand. Forged together, these could create an alloy harder than any iron. This was no problem for our forge dwarves after hearing the explanation. The greatest geographers and experts in minerals instructed us upon founding Thoblecad that the world would be our oyster, that we would have the pick of any and all minerals. But this could not have rung farther from the truth. In sheer technical terms, our forges were considered amongst the best in the world. However, we struck a problem in that we lacked any silty stone with which to corrupt our iron. So we dug deeper, hoping to seek yet more mythical ores, which could sate our appetite for solid construction. Adamantine, the fables of past mountain homes told. Great reward, coming naturally with great risk. Yet, as we dug deeper and deeper and deeper, we found nothing. Barring a pair of mysteriously placed socks of the highest possible craftsmanship. Where did these socks come from? Why were they down here, over a mile deep underground, encased in stone and gem? A bow was also found, translucent throughout. However, all talk was of the socks. Why would someone leave socks encased in gems so deep? Did they exist before time immemorial? Our greatest minds were set to the task. They determined with absolute certainty that these were the socks of Eteg, the Blistered. Were we staring at the very feet of the universe itself, where Eteg broke ground to establish the land which would become Thoblecad? Some dwarves perked up at the sound of feet, behorned blighters that they are. Much talk came of the holy feet of the deep. The king himself ordered the socks brought into his own chambers, so he may ponder upon them alone, late at night, with the door locked. Nobody knows what he was up to with the socks, however it can only be great and powerful, such sacred relics as they are. Regardless, our quest for deep treasures fell short beyond this discovery. No legendary adamantine was to be found, only disappointment and fire. Yet the king, after walking out of his chambers looking fresh-faced one day, declared that while we could dig deep, this would take great labours. He determined that where there are socks, there must also be shoes. He carted out his greatest architect and his finest geologist to explain. We may attempt to dig deep, however great volumes of magma sit between us and our fated date with destiny. With charts and graphs, they illustrated that there already existed a way down to the deepest depths of the earth. He proposed a novel concept. A volcano is a tube. A tube which runs directly to the centre of the universe. All we must do is devise a structure which could withstand the greatest of temperatures. One which could safely transport a team of dwarves to the basin of the universe so they may excavate the most sacred of shoes. Initially, iron was proposed as the foundation of the structure. One dwarf, a bookish scholar, had proposed a concept he had seen discussed in a text on the seas, brought in by a travelling scholar. However, the king wisely interjected. Ah, but how would we ever see outside? And thus it was determined that we would use glass. A tower of glass standing hundreds of meters tall, propped above the volcanic opening of Mount Thoblecad. After one flick of a switch, the support structure would give way, dropping the device into the magma and allowing deep exploration. Days of travel conducted in hours. The king sat, grinning vilely. Those shoes would be his, and so they built long and tall. Magma forge capacity was greatly expanded, harnessing the heat of the mountain itself to cook sands to a fine transparency. A discrete division of labour was established to enhance efficiency, enabling even faster production. Some would collect sand, while others would exclusively smelt. And thus, thousands of emerald green blocks of glass were created. The tower was erected. The king told his subjects, "Take what you must, for you may be gone for a while. Instruments, drink, food, furnishings. This shall be your new home until you return." Did the king not intend to join us on our journey? To which he responded, "Of course I will. It is the divine right of the king to be the first to pray before Eteg's sacred shoes." So we loaded the tower with beds, tables, chairs, instruments, booze. Enough to last a small journey, at least. We would be pulling shifts and sleeping, yet we would all partake in social drinking at once. After all, we were on the most sacred of journeys. Then, the fateful day finally arrived, and we pulled the switch. Hi there, welcome back then. Okay, so I had to kill this base. I absolutely had to. Unfortunately, the frame rate, as you can see at the bottom, got quite low. There are some frame saving techniques I could have deployed, however, there were too many stupid things happening in this base, and it was also not well planned. The opposite of well planned. I actually started making this base before I ever knew that the first video was seen by people. I just got a notification from a friend telling me like, "Hey Carl, your video is taken off on YouTube," and I was like, "What? Why?" And I still think, what? Why? But regardless, I didn't really build it with ideas and plans in mind. Like, I'd already started building the stupid dwarf frogger before before I'd even realised, oh, that can be another video, which is why big chunks of footage are missing. There are big chunks of footage missing from this too, but that's for different reasons. So I think this is the style that I'll go for in the future. Like, pure post-novation. It doesn't come naturally to me to record my thoughts and feelings of something as I'm playing. When I play a game, such as Dwarf Fortress, I'll tend to just enter like goblin mode, where you're just sitting there in silence, staring in the screen, writing something. That does come a bit more naturally to me, and applying some creative license here and there. In other news, thank you to everyone who decided to chuck me a few quid over Christmas. I really, really do appreciate it. I know I've posted another message, and I've tried to respond to every single person who did. I think I have, if it was possible to respond. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. I'm going to leave that open. I Still haven't got a job. Obviously, it's just been Christmas. Who's hiring over Christmas other than Santa? I guess he does need like a single day of labour in the Great Christmas Amazon like delivery factory. But either way, thank you. I might set up a Patreon at some point. I don't know. It depends on how long I decide to keep doing this for. If it's successful, so on and so forth. But that would mostly just be for like, if you really like this, you can send £1 or £2. Yeah, thank you for everyone who's continued watching. Thank you for everyone who has supported. And the next one will be in a new fort with a functional frame rate and also designed around actually working. This fort did not work. I built way too big, as I always do. If you like watching me play games, I have started streaming this on YouTube. I'll try and announce at least a day before I ever stream. However, you can find the archive of the first session on this channel under live. I did not know it would dump things under live. So if you really want to go watch something, you can go check that out over there. Anyway, thank you very much, and do have a lovely day now.